Hey everybody, welcome to NFL Game Day View, presented by Caesar Sportsbook. Patrick Laybon back here with Greg Rosenthal and Cynthia Freeland. We have made it to the postseason. We're finally here, Gus.
Divisional round weekend, no longer the best weekend in football.
Oh?
It's actually this weekend.
I agree. Because you still have the divisional round to look forward to. It's kind of like, you still have your dessert that's there for you. And also, Greg and I are wearing opposite outfits. I just realized this. I'm black on top, green on bottom. You're green on top, black on.
Anytime I can coordinate with you.
We're just turning into each other now.
We're all kinds of coordinated. Speaking of coordination, one thing about a broken clock, 2 times a day is going to be right. 14 times a week, or just over 730 times over the course of the average year, it's also right. And a lot like that metaphorical clock, I'm very broken personally.
Oh, stop.
But also occasionally right. As we look at our standings, and we have finished the regular season, and I have a crown atop me head at 175 and 96 for the first time in my illustrious, very proud opportunity to be on this program. I have won the picks, and Greg and Cynthia are holding weapons.
I don't know how to use this thing. No,
You twist at the base.
No, no, sir. Sir, you're pointing it towards me.
Oh, this one's actually broken.
Okay.
That's why Greg. It's getting warm. I'm going to slide this over there.
Congrats, Patrick. The playoffs are anticlimax now. This is the real Super Bowl champion. Good job.
Well, it's all because I get to be in proximity with you guys, and we get to have fun on this incredible program, and we all get to zero it out. I'm abdicating. I've always wanted a crown.
Oh, no.
A crown for a chance to say, no, the monarchy is abolished. Let's take a look at the game schedule for this weekend. It all starts with the Panthers playing host to the Los Angeles Rams. Great rivalry, Bears and Packers on Saturday. All wraps up on Monday with the Houston Texans traveling to take on the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Rams and Panthers played back in Week 13. Carolina got one of the biggest upsets of the year.
Stafford, shotgun snap, 4-man rush. They're bringing pressure. Harry Brown strips the ball. Now picked up by Carolina. DJ Waddam recovers the fumble, takes it to midfield. Young fires a strike over the middle to Jalen Coker. First down. The Rams cannot stop the clock anymore. With these overcast skies, there is a silver tear hanging on the horizon. And some sunlight somewhere, because the Panthers are sending a shockwave through the NFL.
No one saw that Panthers upset of the Rams coming back in Week 13. Now we got a high-stakes rematch. It's Greg versus the party popper. No, it is Rams against the Panthers in Charlotte. Los Angeles expected to have Davante Adams back for this one. So how does it go in round 2, Cynthia?
I usually have a conservative model. This one picked an 11-point win, 28-17. Obviously we saw some things in that first matchup that included Matthew Stafford turning the ball over 3 times and some really aggressive play calling by the Panthers. But Davante Adams being back after 3 weeks off is really a huge difference maker, especially in the red area. His presence, it's so important for the run game even, for all of the other aspects, for the different looks. We always say, Sean McVay likes to use the same pre-snap picture, and then after the snap, everything looks a little different. It just looks the same, and we trick people. But in this case, now you can use anything other than 13, so you could use 11 personnel again. So now you have mess up the picture and mess up what happens post-snap. A lot of different variables here, but Davante Adams is a huge factor.
My model, which doesn't exist, is not as conservative. I like blowouts. I think this will be a blowout. Rams win 37-20. Usually it's Cynthia doing the math, but here's 17 games times 32 teams. Okay. Actually, 272 games total.
Right.
544 offensive performances in the entire season. Number 1 of those 544 in terms of success rate on the ground, the Rams versus the Panthers in the first matchup. And I know they didn't win the game, but there was 3 turnovers in that game. And when you watch the push, forget about the numbers. It almost felt cruel how far down the line of scrimmage that Blake Corum and Kyron Williams were meeting the first defender. The offensive line for the Rams just dominated this matchup the first time. And then when you're pass protecting, Matthew Stafford isn't getting bothered either. So it's a complementary offense, except the run is setting up the pass for Matthew Stafford. And when he doesn't get pressured, he is the most efficient quarterback in the league. I do not think it's going to be close.
It is unanimous. I also have a Rams win here, 26-22. Let's go back over some of what it took the Los Angeles Rams to lose in Bank of America Stadium that day. This is a red zone tipped interception off of a helmet. Then Stafford gets strip sacked as well. There's a big return on that play. And then, you had a Mike Jackson interception that comes all the way back. Stafford gets pressured sometimes, but not necessarily all the time. Just a whole bunch of weird stuff that had to happen. I like this Panthers team. I believe in them. I think Matthew Stafford's not going to have a game like that. Rams' run game will be as good as Greg mentioned the second time around. Meme us away, Panthers fans. I'd be fine.
You got it close,
to hear
though.
that.
You have it close.
Yeah, a little more respect. Dave Canales noting that folks might not necessarily believe in them. Let's get some math. Bryce Young had 3 touchdowns in the first matchup with the Rams. Does he go over or under 1.5 this time around, Cindy?
I do have him with 2 touchdowns. Why? Because I think the aggressive play calling. When I talk about aggressive play calling, I mean what they did on 4th down. He threw 2 of those touchdown passes last time on 4th down. So his EPA, so his expected points added, on 4th down was like the 3rd highest in a game this season, or maybe in the Next Gen Stats era, something crazy like that. Point being, in order to beat this Rams team that outmatches them in terms of talent, they're going to have to be aggressive. So throwing more touchdowns in a game script that I forecast to be more passing heavy means more likelihood of a passing touchdown.
There's a 100% likelihood of enjoying football this week. It's one of our favorite weeks of the entire year. We'll move from an early Saturday wildcard game to the late one, which features one of the oldest rivalries in our league.
The NFL's oldest rivalry, Packers and Bears.
Those two cities don't like each other.
He said, Vince, I just want you to know you better have your team ready because we're going to kick your ass.
Winning isn't everything, but it's the only thing. Either you're first or you're last.
We're going to be here all day, baby. I like this kind of party.
Give the water again. Right to the outside of the 40. To the 45, the 50.
Hand off to Perry. Questions the right side. Favre keeps it over the middle of the end zone. Diving grab.
You could have a complete losing season, but if you beat the Bears, that was your season.
We're going to separate the men from the boys. We're going to find out who really wants to play this game and who does not.
Some historical notes on the oldest rivalry in the NFL. This is the 213th time that they've gone head-to-head. The two teams 1-1 against each other in the postseason. It doesn't happen that much. That's 2 out of 213 times. The last postseason meeting was the 2010 NFC Championship. And who can forget the team's most recent matchup, an epic overtime thrill?
Snap. Caleb, play fake, looking to throw, going deep, searching for DJ Moore, over the shoulder, catch, made, touchdown Bears! It's over at Soldier Field. The Iceman cometh, the Iceman taketh a 46-yard spiral to the end zone to DJ Moore. 22-16 Bears.
Packers-Bears meeting up for the 3rd time in 6 weeks. The Pack will get Jordan Love back for this game. They could also get Rome Odunze on the other side of the field coming back for the Bears in this one. Glad to see them both back. What happens in the football game, Cynthia?
I think the Packers win this one on the road. The rubber match, 25-23 is my final score. I want to talk about Jordan Love because Malik Willis played really well in that last matchup. In fact, it took an onside kick. Some of the things that are missing there are some low probability events. But when I'm looking at Jordan Love and what he's been able to do, and by the way, his playoff experience as a 7 seed, which means going on the road, all of these things matter a ton. I tip the scales and give a little bit more of the advantage to Jordan Love with a lot of his metrics rank him no lower than top 5 in the league in all of the things that matter. So when you're looking at what kind of quarterback he is, even against this defense that causes lots of interceptions and has the most interceptions and takeaways in the league, it's okay because Jordan Love has the ability to outmaneuver it. So I just think between the experience and having Jordan Love being back for this one, it tips the scales in favor of the Packers.
I'm with you, Cynthia. I'm taking 1 point off and going with a 24-23 win for the Green Bay Packers because, yes, Ben Johnson, as well as this union with Caleb Williams, has worked out. It's worked out great. Matt LaFleur and Jordan Love have been at this for quite a while. I think they can be aggressive against a defense that's aggressive, that needs to make turnovers in the postseason, much like it reminds me of the Dan Quinn matchup against those Dallas Cowboys that had all those interceptions and turnovers, and the Packers came in, ran them out of their own stadium. I think this game is closer, but a big part of why I think the Packers will win is Christian Watson and Jordan Love. Since he came back from that torn ACL, he led the entire league with 294 deep receiving yards and tied for the most touchdowns. I think he gets a deep shot and a score in this one, Greg.
I feel bad. We've been doubting the Bears quite a bit this season.
You gonna pick them?
So I'm not. I'm picking the Packers, which means you can meme us away,
Whoa.
Bears fans. Probably the most likely fans in the league to meme us and
Let's
make
do
us
it, Bears
feel
fans.
it.
Come on, Bears fans. Let's do
But
it.
just listen to my analysis of it. I think Caleb Williams shows up in this game. But one thing I want everyone to watch is how much the Packers blitz. In the first 2 meetings, they blitzed more against Caleb Williams than they really did almost the rest of the season, and certainly more than Caleb Williams was blitzed all season. So it's making him make really quick, smart decisions. It's making Ben Johnson have answers for him. I think Rome Odunze being back is big because now you have Luther Burden, Colston Loveland. Look at my score. That is way over the number of 45, which is the over-under. I feel stronger.
I'm blind. What is it?
It's 30-27.
Okay, there we go.
Cynthia.
I
You
can't
gotta,
see that far
you gotta
away.
wear those fake glasses that
I
you
know,
sometimes wear on the show. I feel way better about this going over the number and it being a great showcase of terrific quarterback play and offenses than I really do over who wins this game. I was just flipping a coin. You guys.
Well, I have a 1-point win. So for the
You have the biggest margin.
Well, it's 1, 2, 3. I just didn't know. I'm just saying points. That's what I really.
Cynthia and I believe in you more than Greg does, Bears fans. Let's take a look at some notable player props according to our friends at Caesars Sportsbook. Jordan Love going 221.5 passing yards. Josh Jacobs 75.5 rushing yards. As for the Bears, Caleb 240.5 total yards, 46.5 receiving yards for the star rookie tight end Colston Loveland, and DeAndre Swift getting 13.5 carries. It's time for us to play this guy or that guy here on Game Debut. We put some head-to-head matchups starting with Caleb Williams versus Jordan Love. Who goes for over 240 total yards?
Oh, yeah, right after I just talked up Caleb Williams. Well, it's Jordan Love. Right. Look, Jordan Love is at a point in his career where I think he is going to light up almost any opposing defense that you throw at him unless they can get quick pressure or any pressure, and that's just not the Chicago Bears. They're one of the higher blitz rates team in the league over the last month or two, and yet they really don't create much pressure. It's a good defense that might create a turnover or two, but this is about yards, and I kind of like Jordan Love getting over 300 in this game if you can find a number out there like that.
All right, let's go for 65 or more rushing yards. Josh Jacobs or DeAndre Swift?
Josh Jacobs is my answer for this one because DeAndre Swift faces a team that has the lowest missed tackle rate, the highest amount of times that they're accurate with their tackles, and the Packers do not let you get explosive runs. On the other side, the two things are exactly opposite. The Bears are going to let you get explosive runs, and they're also not going to tackle you. They could miss a tackle there. That missed tackle rate is much higher. So my only hesitation here in my voice, what you're hearing, is sometimes the lying liar who lies syndrome has now gone over to the Green Bay Packers with how healthy Josh Jacobs is, because he's been playing in these games, but he hasn't really been playing, if you know what I mean. So I assume he's healthy for this one, though, because it's the playoffs and they need to.
It feels like commentary on the tree. Perhaps
the Shanahan tree are the lying liar who lies. They all know. I've told them to their faces. It's fine. It just means that we don't know if we're going to be here Sunday. We get it.
the tree is watered with lies. Last one, more likely to have 4 or more receptions, Rome Odunze or Luther Burden. I like both, but I'm going with Burden here because I like the dynamic of Caleb checking the screens in some of those blitzes. I know that the Halfley defense was coming after Caleb Williams, and so you get a couple of more catches there. The numbers and the odds may favor one guy a little bit more, so maybe the numbers a little bit better for Luther Burden. Great matchups there. Coming up, the playoffs are here. So it's time to put up or shut up. Plenty of bad blood between the Niners and the Eagles, but does San Fran have what it takes to go into Philly and knock out the champs? Our picks for the 49ers and the defending champion Philadelphia Eagles coming up next on Game Debut.
You see, Josh Allen is an alien. Some of the stuff that he can do and the things that he can create.
Starts with Josh Allen. He is a big play waiting to happen.
This is something different. This is an alien that we didn't know anything about.
He's an alien, isn't he? It's just a physical specimen, man.
Let's go! Spectacular touchdown! With the kick and the lead. Oh, the play of the year!
Are you kidding me? Reaching for the pylon.
The alien, Josh Alien Allen.
He's an alien. They do freak type things.
Obligated to have the disclaimer, Josh Allen actually human. Time for Seize the Season, presented by Caesars Sportsbook. As we look at the first touchdown score odds, according to our friends at Caesars, and Travis Etienne takes the lead there ahead of James Cook, and then Josh Allen at plus 675. Trevor Lawrence and Jacoby Myers rounding out this graphic. Let's break down this matchup featuring, 22 humans on the field at one time, including Josh Allen and the Bills going to Duval to take on the AFC South champions. Jacksonville's red hot. They've won 8 straight games. Do they make it 9 straight, Greg?
They do. This was the toughest game for me to pick all week, but I ended up settling on the Jaguars are the most complete team in the AFC, partly because of their running game. When they can get their running game going, they are unstoppable. And this Bills rush defense, not great, not going to be great at stopping the guy you see on the field right here, Travis Etienne. You know why he led the odds for first touchdown score? That's what he does. It could be on the ground or it could be through the air. He actually led the Jaguars in receiving touchdowns this year. I just love a player that steadily improves at his craft. He was 1 yard away from 1,400 yards from scrimmage this season. That would have been the 3rd time in his career. And yet I just think he's a tougher inside runner. Liam Cohen is great at designing the run game, and they're a boom or bust run game, really. And I just feel like this is going to be one of those boom type of games because it's a slow Bills defense, and I think the speed of Travis Etienne could be a problem.
Yeah, the defense, in terms of looking at the balance of the Buffalo Bills, it becomes tough to make the choice here. I've got the Jacksonville Jaguars as well. It's odd that they're a home dog because I think there may be some folks doing some helmet scouting, which is weird in a league where most teams are playing everybody. And I know that Jacksonville has a star quarterback who played great down the stretch. He's got a grill. They've got a new head coach who's lighting the world on fire. But can we talk about a guy who was there in the Doug Marrone era, in the Urban Meyer mistake era, through Doug Peterson? There's been one constant, and it's been Josh Hines Allen. Didn't even go by that name the whole time. He went by Josh Allen back when he sacked Josh Allen 5 times in one game. He had the 2nd most pass rush reps. Yeah, he had a lot of pass rush reps. He had the 4th most pressures. He had those reps because he's on the field. The Jags need him at all times to provide pressure against the passer, and he does it. Shout out to Josh Hines Allen. I think his Jags get a win, Cynthia.
You guys are allowing me to be on my own island with a favored Buffalo team. Fine, prime number. I will take it. 27-25, Buffalo. That is what the model says. I think that you're not supposed to say alien anymore. I watched this UFO documentary, and now it's really bothering me. I can't think of it. So he's an ET. I'm talking about Josh Allen's ability to do so many different things through the air, on the ground. He has over 300 career playoff yards per game, which is bananas. I understand that you're looking at this team and Jacksonville, the recency bias of how well they've been playing, and they absolutely have, taking nothing away, but Josh Allen's ability to overcome all of this, just watch second halves of things and figure out how this run game works. You think that, look at you, Greg.
I mean, recency bias, it's been 2 months. Let's see if we can do that. No, this thing
Please do not point it out my face.
It's just busted. I wanted to celebrate the prime number, but it's not happening.
Okay, here's how we're going to celebrate it.
It's not going to work.
We're going to put our finger here and shake it.
It's just not going to work.
Yeah, it is. Ready? Shake it.
There it is.
It's going to be working as well as your Bills pick. Here we go.
All right.
We did it, folks. The Party Poppers. A second Party Popper has hit the floor. Seize the Season, brought to you by Caesars Sportsbook. New users can get their first bet matched up to $250. Win or lose, must be 21 or older. See Caesars.com/promos for full terms. Plenty of history between the Niners and the Eagles. The last time they met up in the playoffs was the 2022 NFC Championship game. Brock Purdy injured the elbow on his throwing arm early in the game. Josh Johnson came in for Purdy, but then got hurt. So Brock went back on the game. He was practicing throwing left-handed on the sidelines. He could only really hand off due to that elbow injury. Philly went on to win 31-7 on their way to Super Bowl 57, where they lost a nail-biter to the Kansas City Chiefs. And the Niners and Birds meeting up Sunday at the Link. San Francisco's high-powered offense shut down last week by the Seahawks. Philly chose to rest their guys. Does San Francisco knock off the champs here, Greg?
They do not. And I think that rest was really important for a Philadelphia Eagles team that should be getting Lane Johnson back this week and should also be getting back one of the best players in the league. That's right, it's playoff Jalen Hurts. Playoff Jalen Hurts is different than regular season Jalen Hurts. They let him run the ball a little more, and this year he ran it less than any time in his career. He's had some of his very best performances as a pro in the playoffs, certainly in the Super Bowl, but sometimes earlier too. And I think this is the perfect matchup for him to get comfortable. It's one of the worst pass rushes in the league, and you think about the linebackers that are going to be on the field for the 49ers. They were on the street a couple weeks ago. Eric Kendricks, they just signed. They're probably going to have to play him because of injuries. And Kaiser White's another guy they just brought up off the street. And I really do believe there is something to a championship type of team like Philadelphia. They've been through a lot this season, but you play a 49ers defense that's vulnerable, and I think this is going to make them feel a little more alive having a playoff matchup. Philadelphia scores a lot, and they end up winning comfortably.
I have Philadelphia winning, but I don't have it very comfortably at all. Just 24-23, a 1-point win for the Birds at home, something dramatic basically due to their defense. I want to talk about Dallas Goedert here because you talk about playoff Jalen Hurts, and then you have to remember that Kyle Shanahan has like this formula for defending Jalen Hurts that really shuts him down. If you look at all of Jalen Hurts' results against Kyle Shanahan-led defenses, then you will see it actually looks pretty different. He has this really good way of defending him. Now, the difference maker here would be the middle of the field, given those linebackers that you met. Fred Warner still watching from the stands. Possible if they make it later into the playoffs that he could come back, but he's not there now, meaning Dallas Goedert has an opportunity here to really break open the middle of the field and really help out his quarterback, given the way that Kyle Shanahan has shown that the principles and strategies, especially they use that, the way that they play cover 4 is really about what are the different principles, and it's not good matchup-wise against how Jalen Hurts likes to play, but Dallas Goedert will be the difference maker there.
The capacity of the coaches to generate the matchups that they want might help. Also motivating them to try extra hard because we have unanimously picked the Philadelphia Eagles. I have it 23-20, a 3-point win at home by the Birds because I'd like to talk about that defense and how great they are. Remember Zach Bond down the stretch befuddling every single quarterback, especially Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl? Well, he's going to be right there in a key spot where Brock Purdy threw 9 of his 10 interceptions when targeting in-breaking routes this season. That's the second most in the NFL, only trailing the league leader, Greg, in interceptions, Eugene Cyril Smith. Oh. And so if you're going to get Brock Purdy, I think the Philadelphia Eagles have the players to do so. The notable props, according to our friends at Caesars, Brock Purdy at 228.5 passing yards, Jalen Hurts 251.5 total yards, George Kittle at 59.5 receiving yards, and Saquon at 81.5 rushing yards. That'd be a solid performance for Saquon relative to the rest of the season. Time for more or less. Lots of superstars in this game. So let's get our foam fingers and discuss some player props. Brock Purdy had just 127 passing yards against the Seahawks last week. Is the number here 228? How do you feel in relation to 228?
I feel like more is coming. I wanted to say something and work in something about Cooper DeJean dating someone for 20 years, his senior, which I kind of love. But I'm just going to focus on Brock Purdy and instead say that I think those intermediate passes that Kyle Shanahan can scheme open and finding any sort of space to work with, that's going to be the difference maker. And maybe a little bit of Juwan Johnson talking trash. Somebody needs to tell me what he says, for goodness sake.
Let's go to the running game. Saquon shining in the playoffs last season, averaging 127 yards per game on the ground in his career in the postseason. Will he have more or less than 80 against the Niners?
I am going to go more. Saquon Barkley finished off the season, I think, running with a little more explosion, and he's going to have his offensive line healthier. Again, I think that rest was really important. And the thing that gets slept on with this 49ers defense, yeah, it's not a great pass rush. They were actually dead last in the NFL in terms of success rate allowed against teams on the ground. And you saw that in the biggest of matchups last week against Seattle. They just could not get stopped. So I think Saquon Barkley with a week of rest, this is going to be a heavy run game for him. So volume-wise, I like him over 80.
Yeah, it explains and justifies the decision to rest everybody in that final game as well. Last one, Christian McCaffrey, more or less than 103 scrimmage yards. I'm going to go more here because it's Christian McCaffrey, and I think there's going to be more possessions than they had last week against the Seattle Seahawks. More possessions, meaning more opportunity for CMC. About 70 receiving yards, throw in 30.
I thought you were going to say 70 rushes. I was like,
yeah,
dang.
He's going to get 70 carries. You thought he got a lot of volume during the season. Wait till you see what Kyle's special plan is for Christian McCaffrey. That's more or less here on Game Debut. Coming up, we got 2 of Greg's top picks for MVP squaring off in Foxborough. The chosen one, Drake May against Justin Herbert. Vrabel versus Harbaugh. Who wins this epic Sunday night matchup? We'll let you know what we think when we come back on Game Debut.
Anybody know what they mean when they be like Drake made me?
What do you call it?
Drake made me.
A perfect throw by Drake. Patriots have won 10 consecutive games.
Drake, man, just unbelievable performance. Are you kidding me?
One hell of a throw.
He was running around, he was making plays. That's Drake May.
Now I finally made it, everybody know my name.
Sunday night, Drake May and the number 2 seeded Patriots playing host to Justin Herbert and the Chargers. Greg, I know it's like choosing between your 2 favorite children. We're not going to have Greg have that discussion because that's preposterous. But does New England beat your other home team?
I don't feel confident about it. And so what I'm going to do here is what we like to call threading the needle. The Chargers keep it closer than 3.5 points, but the Patriots do win by a point. Because of their running game, I feel more confident that this offense isn't all about Drake May, because at the end of the season especially, Travion Henderson and Ramondre Stevenson were getting it done. And I think that's how you beat Jesse Minter's defense, which is going to make you run the ball against their kind of light defense where they have a lot of defensive backs on the field, a lot of explosive plays from Travion Henderson. But, it's really Ramondre Stevenson to me who is getting it done as a runner and as a receiver. A lot of deep routes for Ramondre Stevenson. These are the number 3 and number 4 running backs in the entire NFL in yards per carry on inside runs. So get just some running backs who can do it all. Inside, outside, big plays, and then Ramondre is fantastic as a receiver. I love how everyone wanted to bench him. Everyone wanted to get rid of him early in the season because of the fumbles. And down the stretch, he actually led the NFL in yards per carry in December and January.
So a slim margin there. An interesting turn of phrase to thread the needle, where the needle was designed for the thread. It's synonymous with the difficult thing to do, but it's the only thing that you do. I will take a 26-20 win for the New England Patriots, the most explosive offense in the NFL. And as Greg pointed out, they do it through the run game, but also through the air. 61.2% of Drake May's downfield passes this season he completed. It's the highest rate in the NFL, the 7th highest mark in the entire next-gen stats era, which goes all the way back to 2016. This team constantly gets buckets everywhere on the field, and I don't know that in the event the game devolves into a score fest, Cynthia, that the Chargers offense will be able to keep up.
I'm with you. I have 24-20, so I'm not threading anything here. You can meme us away, Chargers. We deserve it, absolutely. This is the one actually I'm second most confident on the week in terms of who will win the game. So I'm looking at the Patriots and remembering that they get back both Milton Williams and, of course, they get back Will Campbell. The trenches are so important here because what have we seen from Justin Herbert? Nothing but being under pressure. I mean, going back all the way to last year's game against the Texans, I think he was pressured on 18 of 36 dropbacks. Actually, I know that. I don't think that. It's kind of being cheeky there. But ultimately, it's been a problem. They haven't solved it. And Milton Williams plays on the inside. So what does that mean? Well, now they'll have to devote some of the resources on the interior O-line to stop him, which leaves more of an island for the outside guys. And the tackles have been a problem. I just don't think that they have enough on both sides on the trenches to be able to handle what this Patriots team is going to be able to bring to them on both sides. Again, this is my second most confident pick.
Wow.
All aboard the New England Patriots. Let's go do some math. Get the calculators out. Cynthia, will Justin Herbert pass for more or less than 225 yards in this matchup?
That number is way too low. I know that that you're looking at the Chargers defense and you're saying this is a really good pass defense, and that is true. But then you also have to look at all the different ways that Drake May has found success, kind of inexplicably, right? Ahead of the season, the biggest knock on this team was, well, do they really have an elite set of pass catchers? Turns out Keyshawn Boutte can become a thing, right? He has tied for the second most deep passing touchdowns in the league with 6. He's got 20 completions of over 20 air yards. These are the types of things where it doesn't even really matter what's going on.
And I think this can be a game where both quarterbacks go off. Now, the only thing with Herbert's number here is, are they in a catch-up type of situation? The Patriots defense is healthier this week. Robert Spillane could be coming back.
Robert Spillane's coming back. I love Robert.
You mentioned Milton Williams. Harold Landry at defensive end has been out for a while, so they are healthier right now than they've been in a while.
All right, we got more football discussion coming up. It hurts to say, as a fan of the Baltimore Ravens, But Aaron Rodgers and the Steelers locked down the AFC North crown last week thanks to a kick sailing past the net on the right side. Do they have any magic or holy water left as they set to play host to Houston? Our picks for the Texans and Steelers coming up next on Game Day.
Rodgers gets the snap. Lofting left. Has a man wide open. It's Calvin Austin. Touchdown, Pittsburgh Steelers with 55 seconds remaining. Here's the snap. Here's the hold. Here's the boot by Loop. And that kick is no good. No good. It's wide right. No he missed it. Loop missed it. And your Pittsburgh Steelers are AFC North champions.
Rodgers and the Steelers grabbed the AFC North crown last week. They're playing host to the Texans on Monday night. Houston's won 9 straight, but for what it's worth, Pittsburgh has won 23 straight Monday night football games. Also, the per capita consumption of margarine correlates with the marriage rate in Maine. So there's some other correlations. We don't know if they're causal or not. Cynthia, what happens in this football game?
Wait, how does, in what way? You have to tell us about the margin.
Exactly. Since 2014, the rate of margarine consumption has matched almost precisely the marriage rate in Maine. So they're clearly connected, or they don't have anything to do with each other, and they're fun things to say when we're talking about football games.
I don't know how I can follow that. I might just have to walk off. I have Houston winning this game 22-20. Wow. C.J. Stroud. I want to talk about his connection with Nico Collins because Nico Collins was rested last week. I don't always love rest. Sometimes I think it can be kind of a problem for an offense that maybe hasn't looked fully put together all season long. They have the best defense. We understand that. But I'm thinking that it was actually very smart and strategic to use this rest. The Steelers defense is not the Steelers defense we're used to. So the connection between he and Nico Collins, to me, will be a huge factor in this game, more so than the connection with the other quarterback and his leading receiver, who's also returning, but for different reasons.
Yes, I'm glad that both of them are back and able to play this game. Want both teams to be closer to full strength, but even at full strength, I don't think this is necessarily close. I have a 25-13 win by the Houston Texans on Monday Night Football for their ability not just to generate turnovers, but to get points off of those turnovers as well. And I know the Pittsburgh Steelers rely on staying on the field a lot. You're dropping back Aaron Rodgers a lot, and he's very good at getting rid of the ball quickly. I think he has to be, but also I think there's a capacity for things to go horribly wrong. I have a relatively easy Texans win, Greg.
Wow. There's so much to talk about in this game. You could talk about one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time, maybe his last game, like a heroic stand. Maybe Mike Tomlin's last game in Pittsburgh. One of the defining defenses of this generation in Houston, or you could talk about the kickers, Chris Boswell and Kaimi Fairbairn. One of them's the real thing, and one of them is, I can't believe it's not butter. Chris Boswell looking like some margarine the last couple of weeks, missing big-time kicks in Cleveland. The missed extra point last week, they got away with it. Had a miss in Detroit. He's not that dude. The football gods decided to punish Cameron Dicker, actually, in that Los Angeles game because they chose Cameron Dicker over Fairbairn for the Pro Bowl. Then Dicker missed a couple of kicks. You know who doesn't miss any big-time kicks? It's one of the greatest kickers out of the state of Hawaii, Kaimi Fairbairn, in a defensive game in Heinz Field. He could be the difference. We've seen the kickers be the difference in a lot of these Texans games.
Does that make him butter then? Because would margarine be like
he's smooth.
There's any number of ones that I could have gone with. Because cottage cheese consumption correlates specifically with the popularity of the first name Andrea. Let's get to more on this game. Either Rodgers will be happy to have his top target back, or, we'll see frustrated Aaron Rodgers, like that conversation with Arthur Smith during the game. Here he is with or without DK Metcalf, the on-off splits, generally favoring having the very good wide receiver on the field. Time for this guy or that guy. Aaron Rodgers has the third most passing touchdowns in playoff history. Who's more likely to throw to, Aaron Rodgers or C.J. Stroud?
Going with C.J. Stroud in this one. It's because the Pittsburgh defense is far more gettable than the Houston Texans defense. It's pretty simple. I'm also looking at Stroud fighting shorter passes to, not just Nico Collins, who I already talked about before, but he's also got a tight end in Dalton Schultz that does a very nice job for him, and a bunch of guys from Iowa State who are also very helpful for him as well. So I think they're starting to really pull together with this offense, and the passes look more sure-handed. They're trying a lot more different things. I just just think it will be fun for them in this matchup to kind of look at the tape from what Lamar Jackson did on some of those busted coverages. Like, that guy had maybe, I don't know, 2 years of space on either side of him. So I'm gonna do that.
All right, let's go to DK Metcalf. He's back after that 2-game suspension. Who's more likely to have 50 or more receiving yards, DK or team MVP?
Wow.
Kenneth Gainwell, Greg.
I think it's Kenny G. It's crazy, but he is so valuable. And you know what Aaron Rodgers is not doing a lot these days? Holding on to the ball. That won't give a chance for DK Metcalf to have a big game. Kamari Lassiter and Derek Stingley, maybe the best cornerback duo that we've seen in a long time. Now, I made this choice for Gainwell over DK Metcalf before. You know, I realized that Lassiter's status for the game is uncertain. That's a big factor in this game. That would help DK Metcalf and the entire receiver group out a lot. But ultimately, these are cornerbacks that are kind of built to stop DK Metcalf because they are so physical. They're so sticky. They want a matchup like this on the outside. I think it's what really separates the Texans defense.
All right, I'll go to the running back situation. Which back more likely to run for over 53 yards, Woody Marks or Jaylen Warren? I will side with the Pittsburgh Steelers and Jaylen Warren in terms of what does the defense need to focus on the absolute most. I think the Steelers will be trying to force passing situations for that Houston Texans front. And I think Jaylen Warren could break a big one and be heavily involved in the ground game where you would like those pass rushers to be trying to stop the run and not so much hitting Aaron Rodgers. Coming up, it's no fun picking the favorites, so we're making the case for a few under-the-radar teams winning Super Bowl 60 in Santa Clara. Is anyone bold enough to take a true long shot here? Steelers, anyone? Find out who we pick. Yes, Coach. Coming up next. We're back on Game Day View with NFL Plus. Keep the NFL in reach. Stream every playoff game live on mobile, including Super Bowl 60, NFL Network, live game audio, and more. With NFL Plus Premium, get more football with game replays and NFL Pro. Sign up today at plus.nfl.com/network. Terms and conditions apply. Super Bowl 60 winner odds. That's what LX stands for as we get our annual run through Roman numerals. Sell high around March. Time for Make the Case as we see the Seahawks are the favorite. But we're going to pick a dark horse team way, way behind where the Seahawks were. This is some longer odds. Tell you why we think they can win the Super Bowl. So start us off, Greg.
Okay, I'm starting you off, and I'm going to take the Buffalo Bills.
You don't even have them winning this week.
Okay, but Patrick stole the Jaguars from me in this exercise. We all needed different ones. And my mind understands that, you know, I might be wrong about this week, and I kind of think the winner of this Bills-Jags game has a real chance. And if we're taking longer odds, I think if they could get past this week, you have a coach in Sean McDermott and a veteran defense that is obviously not the strength of their team, but I think he can coach on a game-to-game basis as well as any defensive coach in the league and adapt and just be okay. And then on the other side, I'm often influenced by the last thing I heard. And when I heard Josh Allen say that in the off week, because he took that week 18 off, Joe Brady and him went over everything and talked about just all the layups that he'd been passing up and that he'd been going for too much and trying to play hero ball when there were a lot of like easy answers and being patient. I heard that, I said, uh-oh. This guy who right now is the all-time leader in success rate as a runner in the history of the NFL. It's literally the most effective play in NFL history is Josh Allen running the ball, and maybe he's going to take everything he's learned and go through a really flawed AFC field. I think the Jaguars are great. It's going to be tough to get past this weekend, but if they can, watch out.
All right, Cynthia, which team are you going with? Because Greg has kind of spoiled mine.
Well, you stole it from me, and then she asked, and it came out. Sorry, bro.
Okay, I'm going with the Texans, a team that I have winning this week. Because number one, you need to win your games if you're going to make the Super Bowl, to therefore win the Super Bowl. You know, I love the adage, right? What is it? Offense sells tickets and defense wins championships, whatever it is. I'm looking at this Texans defense, and I'm terrified of them. If they're any team, that is a horrible matchup for just about any situation, just about any quarterback. in the league. I'm looking at, all the different levels. It has the Azeez Al-Shaair, which is kind of the Fred Warner of this defense, because of course they comes from a Shanahan tree. You have the 2 cornerbacks you talked about. Now add in Jalen Petrie, who in the slot, don't mess with him either there, because that's terrible for opposing passers. Up front, Danielle Hunter and Will Anderson Jr. are the duo with the most pressure. Like, there's just a problem everywhere you look with this defense, so I think they should at least not be 5th lowest or below 5th in terms of odds. It should be higher than that.
Yeah, I like the Houston Texans in this exercise as well, because they were the last team, actually, to beat the team that I'm picking, and that's the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Surprise! Oh my gosh!
I mean, what's wrong with spoiling it or saying it ahead of time? They've already released the trailer for the Avengers like a year in advance. It's good. Raise the anticipation for your great pick.
Well, yeah, I was just
answered the email faster.
I was just having a little fun, Greg. I like the Jacksonville Jaguars. I think doing helmet scouting is weird. I think this is not your granddad's or your Jacksonville Jaguars that you remember from the past. Since they lost to the Texans, they've won every single game. They've beat 2 playoff teams. They scored 35 points against both of them, and they both looked really bad against the Jacksonville Jaguars. I think they could win the Super Bowl, and there'd be a lot of fun for the folks in Duval.
It'd be one of the craziest results, and I gotta admit, I took the Jags, and they were like, no, Patrick took it. So then I responded, I said, I'll take the Texans. And they were like, no, Cynthia would take it. So that just, the answer here is that we're all fans of the AFC South, and maybe one of them is going to be in the Super Bowl this year.
Okay, that's
We all agree.
Yes, we'd agree. Fun division. The playoffs are here. It's win or go home. We're dropping our favorite player props for Wildcard weekend. So many great options. It's the playoffs. We got to, again, win or go home, unless, of course, you are playing at home and you're going to go home anyway. Hopefully everybody is involved with an opportunity to go home. You're watching Game Day View. Get set for Super Wildcard Weekend with NFL Game Day morning, Saturday at noon and Sunday at 9 a.m. Eastern. On Saturday, the crew discusses who they have more confidence in to make a playoff run. Jordan Love with Caleb Williams, plus actor Brian Baumgartner, proudly standing aside Ian Rappaport there on that graphic, joins the show to talk about his beloved Green Bay Packers. On Sunday, the crew debates whether this is finally the year for Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills. It's time for Write This Down as we get to our prop predictions as Cynthia recovers on Wildcard Weekend. Why don't you start us off, Greg?
I am a big Brian Thomas Jr. fan. I know it hasn't been his season, but I am loving over 42.5. By the way, I'm on fire with these Write This Downs. Only one loss in the last 2 months. Look, it's not going to be a heavy volume day for Brian Thomas Jr., but they lost Maxwell Hairston Jr. late in that Bills game in Week 18. It is a slow secondary. You get him 1 catch against Tre'Davious White. It's a slow group at safety. He might only need 1 catch to get over 42.5 yards. Big play, Brian Thomas Jr.
Somebody should have warned me. Blake Corum to rush for at least 44 yards against the Panthers. I feel like the Blake Corum numbers are always too low. I feel like there's a few things that are true in life, and that would be the third one. Death, taxes, and Blake Corum's number being way too low, especially against a Panthers defense that doesn't want to stop the run. I'm so glad I stopped laughing because I put the over-under at me stopping laughing at way under, like it wasn't going to happen. So
I will take an over for Travis Etienne. Over 13.5 receiving yards against the Buffalo Bills. He's hit that number relatively easily 3 of the last 4 weeks. Greg already discussed his viability in the pass game, and the Buffalo Bills' difficulty making tackles in space. I think some of those missed tackles lead to Travis Etienne going over 13.5 receiving yards. Can't wait to watch all these football games, guys.
I mean, I hope all the teams do better than me versus the confetti cannon early, but it is going to be a treat. 6 games. It's no longer Super Wildcard Weekend. Oh, no.
There it is. As Greg tries to figure it out. Defective product. Thanks for watching Game Day View, presented by Season
Congrats to
Sportsbook.
Patrick, our champion.
Patrick. We'll see you next week.